Indiana Pacers rising superstar Tyrese Haliburton was in awe of Caitlin Clark after the Indiana Fever rookie sank an incredible three-point shot during Sunday's game against the Atlanta Dream. Clark delivered a stellar all-around performance, leading the Fever to sweep the regular season series against the Atlanta Dream in a 104-100 overtime victory at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Haliburton, who attended the game with his girlfriend Jay Jones, was seated courtside, right next to the spot where Clark launched her remarkable shot. The Pacers point guard was hyped and gave a rousing reaction to the Fever rookie's insane shot. The Indiana Fever gave us an epic game.
McBinley, handoff Clark, launches, and hits a three!
Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, the rookie who's been turning the league upside down, played all 45 minutes of a game that went into overtime. Yeah, you heard that right, 45 minutes. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Clark not only led the Fever to a hard-fought 104-100 victory over the Atlanta Dream, but she also became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 300 career assists. And as if that wasn't enough, her teammate Aliyah Boston chose this same night to have the best game of her career so far. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we're about to dive into the details of this electrifying game right now. The first quarter started hot, with the Fever and Dream trading baskets. Clark showed early on that her aim was dialed in, hitting a three-pointer in the first few minutes. But the Atlanta Dream wasn't intimidated, with Rhyne Howard responding with her own accurate shots. The score at the end of the first quarter, 22-21 for the Fever, a tight start that already indicated the battle that was to come. In the second quarter, things got even more interesting. The Dream came out strong, led by Howard and Alicia Gray, managing to open up a 6-point lead. But the Fever didn't give up. Lexi Hull stepped in, hitting two vital three-pointers to keep the Fever in the game. However, the Dream got the better of this period, ending the first half ahead 48-44. If you thought the game was already hot, the third quarter took everything to another level. The Dream opened up a 16-point lead. It seemed like the game was slipping away from the Fever, but that's where the magic of Caitlin Clark and company comes in. Clark started finding her angles, dishing out precise assists and hitting crucial shots. Aliyah Boston dominated the boards, grabbing important rebounds and converting them into points. The Fever cut the difference to just 3 points at the end of the third quarter, 69-66. For the Dream, the fourth period was one of the most exciting moments of the season. It was a true battle of titans. Clark continued her mastery, orchestrating the Fever's attack with surgical precision. Boston was unstoppable near the basket. The game was tied several times in the final minutes. With 18 seconds on the clock, Boston converted a crucial basket, tying the game at 90-90 and sending the game into overtime. The 5 extra minutes were pure adrenaline. Clark and Boston continued their dominance, but the Dream wouldn't give up. It was a back and forth of baskets. Until the final seconds in the end, Clark's experience and calmness at the free throw line sealed the victory for the Fever 104-100. The Indiana team is evolving more and more, and the performances in this game are showing good signs with the playoffs approaching. Clark, my friends, what can we say about her that hasn't already been said? Well, how about this? She played all 45 minutes of the game. It's crazy, but the numbers don't lie. Clark finished the night with 26 points, 12 assists, and 5 rebounds. That's not just a double-double, it's a demonstration of total court dominance. But the most impressive thing, Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 300 career assists. We're talking about a rookie breaking records that seem untouchable. Her court vision is simply surreal. If Clark was the maestro, Aliyah Boston was the unstoppable force. Boston had the best game of her career so far. We're talking 30 points and 13 rebounds. That's not just a double-double. It's a statement of dominance. Boston was a constant presence near the basket, converting Clark's assist into easy points and creating second chances with her offensive rebounds. Her efficiency was impressive, making 11 of 16 field goal attempts. And we can't forget to talk about Kelsey Mitchell. While Clark in Boston was stealing the headlines, Mitchell quietly had an extremely efficient night, with 21 points and an impressive 50% field goal percentage. She was the crucial third pillar for the Fever's victory. Mitchell showed why she's one of the best shooters in the league, hitting crucial shots when the team needed them most. The combination of these three players, Clark orchestrating, Boston dominating inside, and Mitchell threatening from outside, forms a trio that could take the Fever fall in the playoffs. And speaking of playoffs, with performances like this, the Fever is showing that they're not here just to participate but to compete for the title. The turnaround in the third quarter was a decisive moment. Remember when I mentioned that the Dream opened up a 16-point lead? That was the moment when many teams would have given up, but not the Fever, and certainly not Caitlin Clark. She initiated a sequence of plays that completely changed the course of the game, hitting a three-pointer, followed by 2 consecutive assists to Aliyah Boston. Suddenly, the 16-point difference started to melt the way. This was the moment we saw Clark's true champion mentality. She not only scored points, but elevated the game of the entire team. This game was a microcosm of the Fever's entire season. Moments of brilliance mixed with adversity, overcoming challenges, and a touch of controversy. But above all, it showed the heart and determination of this young team, led by Clark in Boston. Let's dive into the most exciting highlights of this thrilling matchup. As the first quarter tipped off, Kelsey Mitchell quickly passed to Aliyah Boston, who went for a smooth scoop shot but missed. Boston, however, sank both free throws to put Indiana on the board. Caitlin Clark then ignited the offense with a beautiful three-pointer that sent the crowd roaring. But Atlanta's Tina Charles wasn't going to let that go unanswered, faking out her defender and sinking a two-pointer. Rhyne Howard then held the ball, unaware that Nalissa Smith was lurking behind her. Smith stole it clean, only for Aliyah Gray to tie the game with a three. Lexi Hull responded with a three of her own for Indiana. Tina Charles grabbed a rebound and quickly put up a two to keep Atlanta close. Kelsey Mitchell charged down the court for a quick two, giving Indiana a three-point lead, but Rhyne Howard silenced the momentum with a clutch three-pointer. The Dream took their first lead when Jordan Canada sank a two, and Charles followed up with another. Caitlin Clark, still feeling the sting from the Lynx loss, missed a deep three, but Boston added a smooth two. Canada answered with a late two-pointer to keep Atlanta in it. Mitchell, now on fire, hit a deep two, followed by a breathtaking three. Boston added another two, and Indiana held a narrow 22-21 lead at the end of the first quarter. This game was already shaping up to be a battle. As the second quarter kicked off, Lorella Cuba broke through the defense, using a screen to scoop in a smooth two-pointer. But tension flared when Temi Fagbenle was hit with a questionable foul call. She wasn't having it, answering with a fierce block and a quick two-pointer. Atlanta's Nia Coffey responded, sinking a three that ignited the Dream's offense. Aliyah Gray extended the lead with a silky two-pointer, and Indiana looked desperate for an answer. Enter Caitlin Clark. With the pressure mounting, she fired off a step-back three-pointer that gave the Fever a spark. But Temi Fagbenle wasn't done, using her speed to scoop in a two-pointer and drawing the foul for a massive N1. Tina Charles tied it up with a cold-blooded two-pointer. Coffey reclaimed Atlanta's lead with a quick two, and Indiana's defense cracked under pressure as turnovers mounted. Charles capitalized, sinking both free throws to push the lead to 4. Out of a critical timeout, Lexi Hull stepped up, draining a three to cut the lead. Aliyah Gray immediately answered with a dagger from deep. Caitlin Clark, locked in, delivered a long pass to Nalissa Smith for an easy two. Hull, now in rhythm, hit another clutch three. Smith battled through a tough angle to score, giving Indiana back the lead, but Rhyne Howard crushed the momentum with an icy three-pointer. Aliyah Boston added another two, only for Gray to strike again from deep. Smith knocked down another two-pointer, but Gray's next attempt missed. In the final moments, another Indiana turnover led to Jordan Canada draining a two-pointer. The half closed with Atlanta leading 48-44 over Indiana Fever. Fans waited eagerly to see if Clark could rally the team in the second half. The second half ignited with Tina Charles, fueled by her momentum, scooping in a powerful two-pointer and completing a three-point play with an and one. Rhyne Howard then took control, sinking a two-pointer and a scorching three-pointer, forcing an Indiana Fever timeout. Caitlin Clark emerged from the timeout with a much-needed two-pointer, but Howard immediately countered with another two for Atlanta. The Dream surged ahead with a commanding 13-point lead, and Indiana seemed on the brink of back-to-back losses. But Atlanta wasn't letting up. Jordan Canada pushed the lead further with a tough two-pointer and an and one, stretching Atlanta's advantage to 16 points. It looked like the game was slipping away from Indiana Fever until they bolstered their defense. Kelsey Mitchell ignited a spark with a beautiful two-pointer, then stole the ball and nailed a step-back three-pointer. Indiana's defense locked in, preventing any more points from Atlanta. Clark drove for a layup, got fouled, and made both free throws, narrowing the gap to 8 points. Boston capitalized on back-to-back fouls, sinking her free throws. Howard, undeterred, answered with a tough two-pointer and an and one, but Caitlin Clark and Boston combined for a crucial two-pointer. Clark, now in her element, drained a stunning three-pointer, but Tina Charles countered with a sharp two-pointer. Clark, fouled by Jordan Canada, calmly made both free throws. As the third quarter closed, Indiana Fever clawed their way back, finishing with 66 points to Atlanta Dream's 69. The fourth quarter roared to life as Caitlin Clark ignited the crowd with a jaw-dropping three-pointer, leveling the game and fueling Indiana Fever's comeback. Clark didn't let up, threading a long pass to Kelsey Mitchell for a crucial two-pointer. She followed up with a tough two-pointer of her own, only for Tina Charles to instantly answer back. Rhyne Howard then hit her fourth three-pointer, keeping Atlanta Dream in control. But Indiana wasn't backing down. Aliyah Boston scored a key two-pointer, pushing her team closer to victory. But Nalissa Hillman fought back with a tough two-pointer and an and one. Clark's pinpoint pass found Mitchell again, though this time she missed. Mitchell quickly redeemed herself with another two-pointer, yet Atlanta held a 7-point lead. Clark continued her relentless assault, setting up Boston for another two-pointer, but Howard fired back. Lexi Hull drilled her fourth three-pointer, trimming the lead to just 4 points. Clark and Boston, a dynamic duo, connected for another two-pointer, with Clark's assist setting up Boston's spinning finish. The game was tied, but Clark wasn't finished. She fed Temi Fagbenley for a critical two-pointer. With only 30 seconds left, Atlanta Dream sank both free throws. Boston, however, drove to the rim, finishing with a pass from Clark. Alicia Gray's final attempt missed, and the game surged into overtime. In the extra period, Clark made her presence felt immediately with a quick two-pointer. Gray responded with a two-pointer of her own, leveling the score once more. Boston, unshakable, scored another two-pointer, but Atlanta countered. Temi Fagbenley added a crucial two-pointer from Clark's pass. Jordan Canada tied it again with a two-pointer, but Rhyne Howard, in a career-best performance, delivered another two-pointer, giving Atlanta a slim lead. Boston, unfazed, answered with a two-pointer, and with just a minute remaining, she scored again, putting Indiana back in front. Clark was fouled under immense pressure, but nailed both free throws. With just 10 seconds left and Indiana leading by 4, Clark was fouled once more with only 4 seconds on the clock and calmly made both free throws. Jordan Canada had one last chance to steal the win, but her shot missed. Indiana Fever had turned the tide, securing a dramatic victory. What an electrifying showdown.
She's a dog. She was all over the glass. Came up with clutch buckets, tied it for us. Solid in overtime. She's different.
Clark surpassed A'ja Wilson's debut season record, finishing with 692 points. Clark is now the second all-time leading scorer in rookie season history in the WNBA.